This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Too much on the line, too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets align, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, we keep going on now. Don't back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. The night is young, we're out and free. If you can, try to catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. We're in a game.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, so true. It does not matter who the host is. What matters is who the listeners are. And it always has. So anyways, how are you doing on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday, day number 10 of the year? You know, that would be January the 10th, in case if you're all confused and lost in a romance in a wilderness of pain. That's for sure. Yeah, only 356 days left to go. Yeah, that's it. 356. So what an awesome time to do some stuff. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, hanging out with the people over there at Radio Big, because that is what we do. So don't worry about that. Yeah, you know, we hang out with those people because we like them. And I would say we like them a lot. So don't worry about anything else if you have any worries or concerns, because there should be no worries and there definitely should be no concerns whatsoever, as we are talking, hanging, and banging, no doubt-o-outo, as we are doing our giggo. So with that being said, let's talk about what we do here. We talk about safety in the news and safety. That is our gig. That is what we do. That is how we hang. That is how we bang. And all that kind of fun stuff. If you want to interact with the show, it's an easy platform to do so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. They'll get everything moving and grooving for you. It's a simple process. You just click there, go there, move there, and we're all kind of intertwined on how things move from that particular point on. So you don't have to worry about anything else. Callinradio.com will take care of you. If you go to the social media aspects, that's fine. We will be there on video during the first hour of this 3-hour show. But we do recommend strongly going to Call In Radio. That way you can have the true interaction right there in real time. So there you go. Anyways, outside of that, that pretty much is it. We bring in some professional broadcasters and they talk about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news. So that's a cool part over there. So you have that on the other side of the equation. So other side of equation is that for you. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk right away about what the hell was trending in the overnighto.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends, Starbucks launches the graphics expansion into international markets, and Ecuador crowds down on a gang activity. Hard. Yeah, hard. We'll get into that as we go into details. Also, Justin Timberlake scrubs Instagram, and Jimmy Kimmel is waiting for an apology. We'll talk about that as we get into show business. A new Martin Scorsese film will debut later this year. We'll talk about that as we get into some casting stuff. And also, Travis Barker's ex bashes his new family. We'll talk about that in the later hours. In Australia, scraps an important vote. So all of that coming up as we will talk about some of the things that are going on inside of the worldo. So outside of that, here's what we got for you. I'm going to bring in the professional broadcasters right now for them to tell you what the hell's going on with the news. So if you're ready, I'm ready, and let's do that right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Neha Punia. Taiwan's presidential office is playing down claims that China was trying to interfere in its elections this weekend by launching a space rocket carrying a satellite that flew over the island nation this week. Taiwan mistakenly sent an air raid alert to mobile phones on the island when it detected the flight. Here's Andrew Wood in Hong Kong.
Taiwan has accused Beijing of trying to disrupt or influence the presidential and parliamentary elections that are going to be held on Saturday. And Beijing does frequently send balloons, warplanes and warships into Taiwanese airspace and waters. But the presidential office said in a statement that it thought there was no political motive to this mainland space mission. Shortly after the Long March 2C rocket took off from Xinjiang on the mainland, Taiwan sent a message in Chinese saying that China had launched a satellite which flew over the south of the island, and it said that the public should beware of their safety. But the emergency message that followed in English on the phones said there was an air raid alert warning of a missile flyover over Taiwan airspace. Andrew Wood, Hong Kong.
Officials in Japan are implementing emergency steps to avoid collisions at Tokyo's Haneda Airport after 2 aircraft crashed on the tarmac last week. Chris Gilbert is reporting.
One of the emergency steps effective immediately is forbidding the control tower from informing aircraft which number in line they are for takeoff. In the January 2nd accident, a Coast Guard plane had been told it was number 1 for takeoff. A message report suggests the pilot may have mistakenly understood as clearance. The plane was struck by a landing passenger jet, killing 5 out of 6 on board, while all on the commercial liner escaped. Until now, informing aircraft of their position in queue for takeoff was allowed but not mandatory. The Transport Ministry hopes banning it will clarify what information air traffic controllers can provide. Japan's airports will also boost monitoring to prevent erroneous runway entries by assigning staff to constantly check for safety warnings as an alert was not noticed during the crash. Chris Gilbert in Tokyo.
NASA says it is delaying 2 upcoming missions to the moon by about a year. The U.S. Space Agency's Artemis missions aim to return human beings to the lunar surface for the first time since 1972.
Citing safety concerns, NASA says the Artemis II mission is now scheduled to launch in September of 2025 instead of November of this year as originally planned. And Artemis III, which aims to be the first crewed lunar landing since 1972 and the first ever crewed landing on the moon's south pole, has also been pushed back to September of 2026. The U.S. Space Agency says data collected from its Orion capsule as part of the Artemis I launch in 2022 led to the decision as it raised issues with the electrical system and other concerns. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the moment an appeals court judge in Washington appeared to eviscerate a substantial part of the arguments advanced by Donald Trump's lawyers. They say their client enjoys blanket immunity from prosecution for any actions he took when he served in the presidency. It came during Tuesday's hearing at which the former president was trying to avoid federal prosecution for allegedly attempting to subvert the outcome of the 2020 election. Judge Florence Pan, questioning Trump attorney D. John Sauer, appeared unmoved by the former president's case.
Your position is, if a president is impeached and convicted by Congress, then he is subject to criminal prosecution, correct?
That would be a necessary prosecution.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. So therefore, he's not completely and absolutely immune, because under the procedure that you concede, he can be prosecuted if there's an impeachment and conviction by the Senate. But doesn't that narrow the issues before us? All of your other arguments seem to fall away if you concede that a president can be criminally prosecuted under some circumstances.
Supporters of Donald Trump dismiss Judge Pan as a Biden appointee. They say she is part of ongoing efforts by the White House to interfere in the next presidential election. She is one of 3 judges on the panel who will determine the outcome of Trump's appeal. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. 13 gunmen held in Ecuador for storming a TV station live on air. Taiwan's presidential office is playing down claims that China was trying to interfere in its elections this weekend by launching a space rocket carrying a satellite that flew over the island nation this week. Japan implements emergency measures at its airports after 2 aircraft crashed on a tarmac last week. And that is the latest feature story news. Neha Punia reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Freeform radio never sounded this great. Or has it? Radio Big.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home title locks put a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hackneyed? Safety trainers still training in warped versions. How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Polzel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. BIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. BIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with BIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take BIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Now, why would you say that it's not magical? Of course it is. You're here and I'm here, but you're the part that makes the whole magic do and occur. Yeah, do and occur. I mean, whatever the hell that meant. Maybe you make the magic occur. That's the way to give it some thoughtsy-otsy. Anyways, it is currently 17 minutes past the top of the hour, as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday, because that's what it is. So listen, a lot of stuff, a lot of things, little time. Seems like to be the story that repeats over and over again as you and I get to hang out. So if you were in Florida, or at least in Central Florida yesterday, you got to find out that there were some tornadoes and bad weather heading this general direction. As I've been taking a look this morning, doesn't seem like anything terrible, but there was some action. No doubt about it. So we'll talk about some of that as we do move forward. But right now, let's go ahead and get into the shit list, because I think that that's going to be important for us to talk about. So Ecuador's government has aggressively cracked down on gang activity as part of the effort to track down gang kingpin Adolfito Macias, who has escaped from prison over the weekend. As news of his disappearance spread through the prisons, inmates began riots requiring aggressive intervention. 4 police officers have been kidnapped, and media reports multiple explosions across the country. So far, the government has not confirmed whether these attacks are part of a coordinated gang effort or general chaos exploited by bad actors. By Tuesday afternoon, the government had designated all gang groups as domestic terrorist organizations. The current state of emergency in the country will last for 60 days and includes nationwide curfew and ban of public gatherings. An inside job, prosecutors say that they have charged 2 prison guards in connection with Fito's apparent escape, but officials say that he could very well still be hiding within the prison itself. This is according to Daily Mail and Nexa. Meanwhile, gang members appear to have stormed a live news broadcast and cracked down on some gangs. So some stuff going on there, that is for sure. So we'll talk about that. So if we can, because that's going to be the if'em, of course, if we can or not. So let's talk about this, because I think that this will be an interesting portion in regards of some of this stuff, because it gets weird, and it gets weird quick, because that's what has been going on. So with that being said, let me see if I can pull this up. So if you're on the screener, because that's going to be a whole other thing. This is the live version of it. And listen, it's breaking news. Storm live a gunman in Ecuador and take hostage. Some things going on. So I want you to take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screen right now, and here you go. So you see the gunman right there. And they're asking for the cops to leave. They're saying que se vaya, which means go. And they're saying, tell them that we have bombs. But you see them all there. That looks like they're showing some kind of flash grenades. And they just put a stick of dynamite inside of that newscaster's front pocket. So definitely some outlandish things going on there. And then now it's just kind of repeating. But look at that. I mean, that is some chaotic situation. No doubt about that as we are talking. So that gets weird quickly. And that's going on live on the news channel. So, I mean, talk about chaos for sure as we are talking. What do you think about that as you see it? Because it gets weird quickly. I couldn't even envision some of those things that are going on. There is no doubt about that whatsoever as we are talking.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's see what else. El Salvador president virtually eliminated violent crime during his first term by aggressively cracking down on gang activity. They're saying that that's worth noting, but I don't know what El Salvador has to do with Ecuador. I'm just saying. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. So let's continue because I don't even know where to go on this Whip 'em Out Wednesday after talking about something like that. Because that gets weird when you start talking about some chaotic activity, no doubt about it. Anyways, worth remembering, just before the new year, news broke that Gal was fired from his job for producing a porn channel with his wife that featured other adult film actors cooking vegan meals with the couple before moving things into the bedroom for some freaky fun. Now 608 Brewing has rolled out a limited run of Hot for Chancellor fruited sour beer. The can depicts a caricature of a gal running naked with a graduation gown behind him while he carries a bowl of fruit, a nod to himself healthy eating habits, and a beer fruity flavor. The brewery says the beer includes cherries, apricots, peaches, and vanilla. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about for sure. If you're on the streamer eamer, that's what the can looks like. I think we're doing a partially censored version. Yeah, looks like it's partially censored because somebody jammed that thing into the snow. Or you can take a look at it. But there you go. Hot for Chancellor. There you go. The world of the weird as we get into it from time to time. Listen, radio first. Don't worry about the pictures. Hear the sounds and we can go from there. Not an issue whatsoever as we are talking. So the craft beer that was going on. How crazy is that? Craft Beer Lacrosse, Wisconsin debuted a new beer that either celebrates or mocks the UA lacrosse chancellor Joe Gal's porn career. How weird. Okay, let's continue. So let's see. Get a load of this. Nearly 1 in 5 hiring managers say that a Gen Z job candidate with recent college degree brought a parent with them to the job interview last year. And it gets worse. Almost half of the respondents said the interviewees were dressed inappropriately for the job. More than half say the young uns struggled to make and maintain eye contact during the interview, and a solid 50% of the hiring managers said that the compensation requests were unreasonable. Overall, 39% say they would prefer to hire older employees because new crop makes such terrible first impressions, and they'll pay more for someone who is experienced to avoid dealing with totally unprepared new entrants to the workforce. This is according to Business Insiders. A wise man once said, it's just not hard to be above average. So what then is the point of a college degree if the recently earned diplomas count against you? I mean, I don't know. So here's the thing. Job requests in regards of hiring managers and how things need to lay out are so different now in regards of what's going on. I remember when I was a kid, or let me rephrase that. I shouldn't say a kid, but when I was younger and looking for a job, expectancy was minimum shirt, tie, slacks, dress shoes, a good shave, nice hairdo. I always had the problem with the hairdo thing, but that's neither here nor there. But think about that. So, and it was faux pas to wear jeans. No jeans to be worn at any point. So I don't know what it is now. Because, listen, there's such a relaxed environment when it comes to certain things now. And if you're doing a job where you're remote, how dressed up do you need to be for this interview? I mean, I would imagine that your top needs to be kind of interesting. Like, here's the thing. During a remote job, like right now, I could be buck naked doing this thing. I'm not. Let's just make sure that we're clear here. I could also be pantsless, which, you never know, because all you see is the person from the top. So I'm just saying, some things to think about. So I don't know what exactly, I guess it really depends on what you're looking for and what kind of job you're hiring for as these things go into the equation. So there you go. So anyway, take a listen to this. The Russian government announced on Tuesday it has detained 32-year-old American named Robert Woodland on charges of attempting to produce and sell illegal drugs. Woodland was arrested on Friday and was immediately ordered to serve 2 months in detention. Of course, he's likely to face trial and a more harsh prison sentence. CBS News reports that Woodland was born in Russia and lived in an American foster family for most of his life. About 6 years ago, he returned to Russia to find his biological mother. He worked as an English teacher outside of Moscow. Worth noting, the other 2 Americans are currently detained there are Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gervich and Marine Corps vet Paul Whelan. Both are being held on trumped-up espionage charges that the U.S. government explicitly denies. As far as we know, Evan was a working journalist, and Whelan, or Paul, was in Russia to attend a friend's wedding. Well, talk about a turn of a wedding event, that's for sure. Hey, I'm going to a wedding. Oh, yeah, I got arrested while I was there. What the freak is that? You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants that shit, that's for sure.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, Starbucks is aggressively expanding in India, where the coffee giant says it will open 1,000 stores by the end of 2027. That's a pace of a new location every 3 days for the next 4 years. Starbucks currently operates 390 stores in the country, and its partnership with an Indian company. So we'll see how that expands, this is according to CNN. So there you go. Let's talk about this real quick. Deaths that occurred in the last little bit. James Kotak has died. He passed away on Tuesday in Kentucky. No further details were shared. Kodak performed with the Scorpions in Kingdom Come. He was 61 at the time of his passing. Totally unexpected, that's for sure. So take a listen to this, because I got some matters of money for you. So there you go. Let's talk about some money matter stuff, because that's going to be interesante as we get into this real quick. The Dow lost about 157 points to close at 37,525 on Tuesday. The S&P lost about 7 points to close at 4,756, and the NASDAQ gained about 13 points to close at 14,857. West Texas Intermediate closed at $72 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $77 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.07 on Tuesday, and Bitcoin dipped about half a point on Tuesday, trading right around 45,850. There was more than 8,065 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Tuesday, and more than 1,283 cancellations. This is due to the weather concerns that were going on, so just so you know. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $60 million jackpot, or a $29.7 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, let's do that. I talked about this at the very top. We normally don't do a lot of show business during this hour, but let's talk about some of this stuff. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet finalized their divorce on the same day that she filed. According to court documents obtained by Page Six, the two had everything settled prior to the filing of the divorce. Is listed as uncontested, meaning that neither of them will fight it. As previously reported, Bonet filed for divorce on Monday, almost 2 years to the day that they announced their separation. They were married 6 years. This is according to Page 6. Months after disabling comments on his Instagram page, Justin Timberlake has now scrubbed his account of all posts except a photo of his eyes looking into a mirror. While the initial move was in response to the backlash following his ex Britney Spears memoir, the recent deletion may be an anticipation of new music. Remember, JT is going on tour later this year. I remember there was rumors circulating that he had canceled that whole thing. I guess it's not true after all. A recently released coroner report states that Sinead O'Connor died of natural causes. Her death made headlines last July. The news confirmed that her passing, saying that she had been found unresponsive in her apartment. She was 56 at the time of her passing. Also, Jimmy Kimmel wants an apology from Aaron Rodgers after the QB joked that the name would be on the infamous Epstein list. During a 7-minute monologue this week, Kimmel said that he's not only was the name not on the list, but Rodgers' joke put his family in the crosshairs of some pretty delusional people. He also called for Rodgers a hamster-brained man who is too arrogant to know how arrogant he is. Kimmel ended his speech asking Rodgers for an apology before admitting that he probably shouldn't hold his breath. This is according to Page 6. What else do I got for you? Lil Nas X is releasing some new music this week, dedicating it to the man who had the greatest comeback of all time. That would be Jesus Christ. The song is part of Nas calling his Christian era. It will be released independently, not through his longtime label, Columbia Records. The new track is titled J. Christ and will be released on Friday. So this is according to Billboard, so be on the lookout for that if you're interested in it. Also, Kevin Hart is a secret through Not Anymore chat group for some of the biggest names in action-based film. Yep, Dwayne Johnson, Mark Wahlberg, Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and all the biggest players. He told people that at the premiere of new Netflix movie Lift, of those that in the chat, Hart was the only one that starred alongside Johnson in films such as Central Intelligence, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. So, there you go. Kevin Hart doing some things. I wonder if the Cat Williams interview from Club Shay Shay has anything to do with some of the stuff that Hart gets to do. I don't know. Have you listened to that interview? If you haven't, well, it gets weird. It gets some weird stuff. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes long. I'm not gonna lie about it. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour, so it's more than likely we should probably be doing what we should be doing during this time. And what am I talking about? Well, we normally do a main story during this. So what are we going to do? I think we should do the main story. It'd probably be a good idea because that's what people are waiting for.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
You know, I have to sit here sometimes and pinch myself. Yeah, I'm pinching myself. Yeah, that's my arm, just in case. And go, listen, it's amazing what we get to do together. And it's amazing what normally we get to do for work. And I'm amazed at looking around and seeing everything that's going on in this lovely industry that we get to call safety. Now, I want you to understand that this safety industry that you get to interact in and I get to interact in, it's not yours. And it's definitely not mine. So I want to be clear about that. We're just a spoke on the wheel. When you leave and when I leave, that wheel will continue to turn, regardless of how you look at it. We're just here now for the time being to try to set up and help the next gen, to help the next people, to help the people that are inside of there as that thing goes and moves forward. And I think that sometimes we forget that. Some people believe that they have some level of ownership of what the hell's going on. Some people believe that they are the future of safety. Some people believe that they are the past of safety. Some people believe that they are safety currently. And it gets weird when you start saying, that you are the whatever of safety. I mean, like that would be like me turning around and saying, yes, I am the voice of safety. No, I'm not. I am a spoke on a wheel. And I can only tell you what is going on today. I cannot predict the future of what's going on. And any person that tells you that they can might be full of themselves. Also, anytime that you start talking about safety, a lot of the stuff that you have to look at is past-based, not future-based, because that's some things to think about. But the goal here as we get into this new year, and we're only 10 days into this thing, is looking around and going, we've made it this far with this. What are we doing to make it better? And yeah, it's good to see people trying to repurpose stuff and trying to go, hey, this makes sense here and that makes sense there, and we're going to move forward with it. But they want to put a level of ownership on it. And it's not about ownership. It's about understanding what is best suited for you and your organization. It is about what is best suited for what is happening inside of the industry. And I know that if you kind of look through some of the stuff that we get to interact with, which is the human and organizational performance stuff, the learning team stuff, the incident investigation stuff, it's all kind of interacts with each other, and there's levels of this. And for some reason, people have wanted to jump forward and move around and do some weird things where they want to incorporate one portion without having the other. Can you do that? I guess you can. But foundations are so important as you are moving forward, opposed to going, okay, let's build this thing and not really see how good the foundation is. At all times, as you're moving inside of this industry of ours, as you are getting to be a spoke on the wheel, you have to look at that. You have to bring in of, hey, there were giants in this industry, we can call them giant spokes, that helped motivate and move this thing. So what can we do to build off of that? And I'm not saying that nothing new will ever come about from this. Oh no, nothing new is ever going to come forward. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it gets kind of boring seeing people go, okay, we're going to bring this in here and we're going to drop that and we're going to say, okay, I was the creator of this and I'm going to move forward with it because I made this. And then you kind of look at some older manuals, the handbooks, if one may say so, and go, hold on. This was made 30 years ago. All you did was copy it from a book. I remember working for a pretty big organization. And they essentially, I was sitting inside of a room and they were taking a book from another organization and copying it verbatim and putting their jargon there for it to look like their own original creation. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have sat into some safety meetings where I have seen that. And then people want to resell it, repackage it as their own mastermind. Yeah, mastermind. What a title. So, mastermind, master class, master whatever. Good for you. So when you look at this, think about it. You're a spoke on the wheel that's helping move this forward for the next gen. What can you do today to assist to move this whole thing forward? Maybe that's the thought process, not so much of, I will be the next great blah, blah, blah.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
He's the man. It's awesome, funny, random, doesn't make any sense, but it's good.
Jay Allen in the morning on radio. Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing the dinner is on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's bear. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi. Radio.
They'll never see us 'cause we're moving the night. We're always ready if they put up a fight. I'll run, I'll climb, we'll outshine. You will run and think it's worth it to try. So listen up, listen up. I'm calling your bluff, calling your bluff. Yeah, give it up, give it up. I think you've had enough, you've had enough. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. Too much on the line, too much.
Okay, here we are, Rated R Safety Show. 44 minutes past the top of the hour. Still hanging and banging on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday.
So listen up, listen up.
Yeah, this right here, Tiger Run with Renegades.
Calling your bluff.
You can give us some streamer action if you'd like.
Give it up.
YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify, baby.
We're renegades.
So some stuff to think about. Some things to talk about.
Renegades.
Yeah, some renegades. So talk about it. Let me talk to you. Let's get some things done. Because we're some renegades.
The moment
Anyways, thanks to Tiger Run for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Because listen, without new music, I don't know what the hell I'd be doing. So there you go. Okay, so let's get back into it. Let's talk real quick. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I'm ever going to tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. When you're having a tough moment or a day, it's okay to pause and take care of yourself. If you go to their website and go to the section that says self-care, there are some suggestions on how you can do that right now and how you can make plans to keep your self-care efforts going forward in the future. So listen, all kinds of circumstances, all kinds of stuff that's available on To Write Love on Her Arms. That's TWLOHA.com. I am infatuated with this website because it has so much good stuff going on. This company does so many great things. This organization is really what I should say. Does so many good things for people in regards of trying to get them where they need to be in their mental health. To Write Love on Her Arms. All you have to do is go to their website, TWLOHA.com. If you're looking for help, you can click on the section that says Find Help. If not, there's another section on there that talks about self-care. And you can look at it, go through it, see what things could apply to you. And if you say, hey, that's not for me, there is enough information there that you might be able to assist others with it. So there are some things to talk about, some things to think about. So there you go. TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Let's talk about some other things that are going on inside of the world because we always need to be talking, moving, and grooving. No doubt about that. So let's go into this of mice and men and maybe some cats as well. A man in Wales set up a camera in his tool shed to find out why objects were moving around and discovered that a tidy mouse was cleaning up the place. Yeah. Rodney Holbrook said that the mystery began. Some of his bird food he stored in the shed ended up in an old pair of shoes, and some of the wildlife photographers set up a camera, ended up recording footage of a mouse making nightly visits and rounding up small items that he had left out and placing them in a small tray for themselves. Usually a tidy mouse works alone, but will occasionally be accompanied by one or two others. The mouse in the cohorts have placed things like nails, cables, ties, small tools into a tray in an apparent effort of hiding nuts. Holbrook said that it happens every night without fail, and having doing the reverse teenager. Yeah, that's what he refers to it as, the reverse teenager. So there you go. Some stuff to think about real quick. Now, here's the weird part. As I'm talking about this, I want you, maybe I should try to see if I can get this moving and grooving over here. So I will go ahead and do a little publisher over here and take a look at this. Let me see if I can play it without an ad, hopefully. Of course, we're going to get an ad first, because why would you not get an ad before anything else in regards to that? So I don't know. Okay, hold on. Apparently we need an ad because, CNN has said it is ad time. Ad time to take a look at it, but this is where this is why is this taking so long? Yeah, you can't even fast forward the damn thing. Can we get some ad-free stuff? So let's see if the ad will go. Oh my God, this ad, apparently it knows that I'm moving away from the thing. So it's not allowing me to continue forward until the whole ad is played by Charles Schwab. Thank you, Charles Schwab. Much appreciated.
Mouse is keeping things squeaky clean.
But you see this?
Retired postman Rodney Holbrook noticed that items in his shed in Wales were mysteriously being moved around at night. He set up a camera hoping to get to the bottom of it. When he saw the footage, he couldn't believe his eyes.
Yep.
To his amazement, it showed a mouse clearing up, putting things like nuts
So
away neatly.
a good old mouse moving things around. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting to see.
Rodney said the extraordinary tidying had been going on for 2 months and has since nicknamed his new helper the Welsh Tidy Mouse.
So there you go. If somebody would have told me that was going on, I would have been like, sure it is. So So there you go. There you go. Pretty interesting. I have to admit, it's interesting. No doubt. No doubt about it. No doubt about so. So there you go. What else do we have in the most revolutionary product ever to make a debut in Consumer Electronics Show on in Las Vegas, but it might be the most useful. A pair of Swiss twin brothers have unveiled Flappy, a clad door that stops felines from bringing in mice and other prey into the house, living or dead. Oliver Dennis Wilder said that Flappy cat door was inspired by their mother's struggles to keep the family's cats from bringing in mice inside, and it features an AI-powered detection because it refuses to allow the cat to enter the home if it's carrying a mouse, bird, or small animal in its mouth. It also features, a manual locking system that can be operated by the homeowner, and a chip detection option that can ensure that the flap only opens for the owner microchipped pet. Internet connectivity also allows to review the camera footage via smartphone app. The price tag goes for about $400, and tag doesn't sound bad if you have ever tried to convince a chipmunk to exit through the front door. So there you go. Let's talk about one more real quick. Senorita affective disorder. So it's the coldest time of the year, and the daylight disappears before dinner ready, and those Christmas bills just keep on rolling. What's not to like about the winter? Well, and if you believe in the results of a new survey, especially applies to women, a poll of 2000 found that women are grumpier than men during the winter. 6 in 10 females admitted being in a bad mood between December and February, compared to 48% of males. That's exactly what made women feel this way. Miserable weather was the top reason, 87%, while men blamed the lack of sunshine, 81%. As a result, 42% of adults said that they would likely book a holiday to give them something to look forward to. The survey also found the things that they miss most this time of the year are the sun on their skin, about 55%, spending more time outside, 53%, and the general warmer weather. Truth to be told, the top reason to feel grumpy this time of the year is because their wife is. Never mind feeling the sun on your skin. The things that I miss the most during this time of the year is having the feeling of in my hands. Well, that's if I live somewhere else, but I do live in Florida, so I can't complain. Anyways, let's do some chippier stuff, and let's go ahead and bring some John Smalls inside of here and let him tell you about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. Today's quote was submitted by RC. George Burns said, "I love to sing and I love to drink scotch. Most people would rather hear me drink scotch." I love that. We have a friend who was blessed to work with George Burns on one of his final movies. He said George was a very special man who took the time to visit with him off screen. He gave our friend some advice and poured into a young man in his 20s. He said the advice was not just about work and acting, but about love as well. George Burns and Gracie were married for 38 years, and they worked together in vaudeville, then in radio, and eventually in television. When Gracie passed away in the 1960s, George mourned her for the rest of his life. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's take a look around at some things that happened back on this day, back in 1999. Are you ready for this? The Sopranos makes its debut on HBO. The series stars James Gandolfini as a mobster, Tony Soprano. Over the 8-year run, it would earn 111 Primetime Emmy nominations and win 21, including 2 of the Outstanding Drama in 2004 and 2007, with its 2004 when HBO became the first cable network to earn the recognition. That happened back in 1999. Let me give you another one real quick. Back in 2021, more than 3,000 daily deaths attributed to COVID-19 are recorded for the first time in the U.S. The number brought the cumulative death toll of the virus to 375,000. That happened back on this day in 2021. If we're looking at some birthdays, let's talk about that. Renee Rapp turns 24. Mason Mount, 25. Jared Kushner Yeah, he turns 43. Sarah Shani turns 44. Tamina Snuka turns 46. Lyle Mendez turns 56. Andrew Swift, 66. Pat Benatar, 71. George Foreman, 75. Donald Fagan, 76. And Rod Stewart turned 79 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you. It's National Save the Eagles Day, National Take the Stairs Day, National Houseplant Appreciation Day, National Oyster Rockefeller Day, National Cut Your Energy Costs Day, National Bittersweet Chocolate Day, hey now, Peculiar People Day. So there you go. All kinds of interesting days to celebrate if you are so inclined to do so. So there you go. So some stuff right there. What else? What else can I see inside of my Wheel of Fortune? Oh, no, that's something else. Let's talk about, did you know the NFL play-up matchups are set, and there's one thing that you can bet on, that Americans will be watching. The NFL accounted for 93 of the top 100 U.S. broadcasts last year, according to Sportico. That's up from 82 in 2022 and 61 5 years ago. The only non-football broadcast to crack the top 50 are the State of the Union address and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and that's only until Taylor Swift gets her own TV show. After that, who the hell knows what exactly will end up happening? No doubt about that. If you need some whack facts for today, I have some of those for you as well. In a room with 23 people, there's a 50% chance that at least two share the same birthday. Women have slightly higher average IQ than men. White chocolate isn't actually chocolate at all. Technically, freshwater fish is not seafood. Applesauce was the first food to be eaten by astronauts in space. And earwax is technically a form of sweat. Maybe one day we'll talk about my headphones and earwax, because that could be a very interesting conversation if you want to hear it. Anyways, if you need a random joke for you, I no longer fight, and I don't fight my demons. We're not on the same side. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's something that everyone agrees we should change, but somehow it never gets changed? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. Stats show that women are 20% more likely to help with this than men are. What is it? Cover up a crime. Really? I did not know this. This is good to know. Anyway, so there you go. That's going to sum up our time together. If you hang out here on Safety FM, you'll have the chance to hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting, because that is what he does. He talks about that stuff, gets you moving and grooving inside of that world. So there you go. Sheldon Primus, Safety FM. If you want to hang out with me, I'll be hanging out on Radio Big for the next couple hours or so, talking about the world of music and entertainment. So you're more than welcome to hang out with me on that side of the equation. So there you go. So, with that being said, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. In the middle of every difficulty lies an opportunity. Keep that in mind. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you. Mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
They'll never see us 'cause we're moving the night. We're always ready if they put up a fight. I'll run, I'll climb, we'll outshine. You were wrong to think it's worth it to try. So listen up, I'm calling your bluff, calling your bluff. Yeah, give it up, I think you've had enough, we're renegades. much to